All right, we got the chapter 17 spoilers, and this chapter's pretty crazy. So I'll just cut to like the big, exciting part of this chapter, the big hype moment and aura that Gege is known for. And then, we'll get more into it as we get through these spoilers. But at the end of this chapter, Rika is returning. Like, Tsurugi is struggling with Maru in their fight because Maru's, like, actually trying now, I guess, because of his third eye activating or whatever. And at the end of the chapter, Rika comes out because we saw that Tsurugi was given the Rika ring in the first chapter. And Rika, like, manifests, but in a very different way. And that's kind of where the chapter ends, with Rika about to fight against Maru. But, we'll break it down. So we're going to be going over text spoilers here, but I can see some of the panels. They're not exactly perfect, but I can make out more or less what's happening. So Tsurugi speaks the same lines as Megumi about his father disappearing and him not caring about who he was as a person. The story begins with a hazy episode just before the father's disappearance. A maid sees someone turned back towards a man with a scarred face who boldly flicked back his hood, and it is unclear what happened between them. Aside from the strange phrase, "It doesn't matter." Tsurugi reflects on why his father disappeared, not after his own birth, but only after Yuka was born, and comes to the conclusion that this may be connected to whether the children possess curse techniques, as if the father's role had been fulfilled only up to a certain point. He thinks that Yuka would have understood the core of it, but Tsurugi himself would not. So, yeah, the person in question here is, like, Akotsu's son. Like, again, Tsurugi and Yuka are the grandson of Akotsu and Maki, but their father is, like, just straight up the son. And technically, he should still be alive at this point, and we'll get a little into that. But apparently what's happening here is that, I know that text wasn't exactly exciting, but what I've been able to gather from this is that Yuta's son was, kind of like a jerk, and he was upset with the way that, like, sorcerers are, like, weak nowadays, even though he never experienced Sukuna or, the Shinjuku stuff or the Shibuya stuff or anything like that. I guess he just is jealous of that or something, or he's more kind of like a fusion of the way that the Zenin clan originally was, along with, like, how Toji was, in a way, because it's saying that it parallels to Megumi talking about Toji, his father. So, I don't know. I mean, we're going to have to get more into this once the official chapter comes out, which is going to be next week. So, yeah, the spoiler video that I'm going over today is pretty much the only content that I'm going to be dropping for Chapter 17 this week. Sorry, guys. Just, like, next Sunday is when I'll have the review out. Again, we get these spoilers super early because of, like, the Christmas break, the holidays break. So it gets out of whack with everything, but I don't know. If you still care by then, I will have the review out. We'll see what happens. But apparently he had a dispute with Yuji, because we're seeing Yuji yet again in this chapter. It's like hooded Yuji, and I don't know what happened with them. They had some kind of dispute, as it says here, and their father goes away. I guess he's still alive. Maybe he'll come back. To be honest, I don't think he's going to come back. And I'm not trying to be mean when I say this, but I think this is as far as this is going to go. I think Gege kind of just included this in there to give Tsurugi some more development and backstory, but that's about it. Like, I don't think this is ever going to come up again, probably. Maybe in the next chapter it might be explained, like, why it was decided that Tsurugi gets the ring or whatever, other than him just being a man, the Rika ring. But once again, Yuji returning here, another single panel of Yuji. And again, I don't know if that means that he's going to show up eventually. I don't really have high hopes for that. But at least we get to see him at all, I guess. Transition into the battle between Tsurugi and Maru. So yeah, now we're coming back to the previous chapter. It started with Yuka taking on Deborah with Maharaga, but then it transitioned into Tsurugi taking on Maru. And Tsurugi was like getting the upper hand on Maru, with his heavenly restriction and his cursed tool sword. And when he knocked Maru down, Maru's third eye started talking to him, because Maru was, like, conflicted with having to take out Tsurugi because, like, he's, like, a really good friend to him. Like, and he didn't want to, like, break this new friendship that he developed with Yuka and Tsurugi. And then the third eye was like, you know what? You're disrespecting Tsurugi's offer here to duel. Because Tsurugi was like, hey, if I win, you gotta leave. He essentially didn't want to kill him. But Maru, now that he's cooperating with his own third eye, I guess is like, yeah, this is a fight to the death now. And at the end of the chapter, he started activating his curse technique, or one of two curse techniques. It still remains to be seen what's going on with that, but It was essentially like telekinesis or gravity manipulation or something like that. And Tsurugi admits that he barely understands how Maru's technique works, seemingly hinting at how dumb he is compared to Yuka. Maru says that victory is almost here, but Tsurugi refuses, deciding to bet everything on a tiny but existing chance to save Yuka, even if it's only 1%. Tsurugi says that glorious death would be nice, but he cannot accept the idea of something happening to Yuka. Her life matters more to him than his own. Next, Tsurugi, half dead, thinks the person before him is his grandfather, Yuta, but then a voice says, he really fell for that woman, Yuta and Maki. Full of irritation and sarcastic remarks, it's Rika! Her help is offered reluctantly, and only because it's Yuta's request, and only after the word I accept is spoken. So before we get into all the craziness, we do see this fight, and it's pretty long in this chapter. It's very good. It's actually really refreshing coming off of the One Piece spoilers, because Oda is like super reluctant to show us actual fights for some reason, but we're seeing like a full-blown fight between Maru and Tsurugi in this chapter, and it's pretty good. It's mostly just sword stuff, but Maru is definitely getting the upper hand on Tsurugi here in round 2, as we suspected. And they're like flying all over the city and stuff. But we're not seeing, like, Maru manipulating elements the way that he was earlier on in the series when he was fighting against Takeda. But he is, like, levitating, like, buses and cars and stuff and, like, throwing it at Tsurugi. And they're, like, going through buildings, which is pretty crazy. And I guess that's when we get to the point of where Tsurugi is having, like, this inner monologue with Rika and all this stuff. After he gets hit by all these vehicles, it gets thrown through a building. So this is like a special grade level fight, I'm assuming. I mean, if we didn't already know that Maru was probably special grade, at least when he's completely unhinged. Maru is shocked by the sheer amount of cursed energy and by its very nature, asking, what are you even? Rika envelops Tsurugi's body, taking form around him, which can be inferred from the editor's note at the end of the chapter, the one who wears the curse is the queen of curses. So, yeah, this is like the big hype moment and aura farming that Gege is known for. The chapter ends with Rika coming back, but instead of manifesting as like a Shikigami cursed spirit hybrid thing that she initially was, she's like fusing with Tsurugi. And Tsurugi, it looks like he's wearing Rika armor almost. Like he just has like Rika's head, and then the rest of his body is kind of just normal, just with like cursed energy emanating from it. And seemingly he's more powerful, obviously, because he, like, hits Maru away. And Maru's like, wow, that was a powerful hit. And, that's where the chapter ends with, like, Tsurugi taking his fighting stance as he has, like, the Rika, I don't want to say helmet. I mean, it could be a helmet, but this is just, like, the new adaptation of Rika, I guess. Like, instead of, like I said, just being a separate Shikigami thing, the way that Akotsu used to use it, he's, like, fused with Rika now. And again, we see, like, the ring on a necklace around his neck. So I guess that's where it came from, and, again, we saw this in the first chapter that he was given the ring. So, man, this is pretty broken. It's like Tsurugi already has Heavenly Restriction. He has that curse tool that has, like, the Fire Curse technique in it, along with Simple Domain that has, like, 2 different functions on it. And now he has Rika, too. But it seems like he's just going hand to hand. He's not even using his sword anymore. He's just, I guess, getting, like, a physical and curse energy, like, buff from this. Maybe he's getting boundless cursed energy, like that external hard drive of cursed energy that Rika was able to have. And I don't know if Rika's going to give him curse techniques while he has her attached to him or something. Because then that would be broken. Because that would be a way to, like, circumvent the effects of Heavenly Restriction, as to where you have 0 cursed energy. If he has, like, Rika attached to him as, like, a cursed tool, kind of, and Rika has, like, curse techniques like built into her already, then it's like he has Heavenly Restriction and curse techniques at the same time, which I guess this was ultimately always coming to, because that's what the purpose of the curse tool was, with his sword anyway. But now it's just going to the next level. But now I guess we're going to see like round 3 where it's like super even, kind of, because we still haven't seen the full extent of Maru's like power yet either, because I think we saw that when he was fighting against Takeda when he was unconscious. He hasn't gone berserk like that yet. Yes, he did improve in round 2, but I guess now we're going to see like a real even fight, like Tsurugi with the Rika helmet. We don't even know what Rika can fully do yet, other than just buffing him in general. But I wouldn't be surprised if we just cut away from this and we go back to Yuka taking on Deborah, which is fine because both of these fights are really getting interesting now. But let me know what you think about this in the comments, guys. Again, like I said, I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to cover this again until next Sunday. So if you still care by then, please check out the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, guys. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.